Hey guys, Nary here from Drakewing Gamers. If you know me on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you into the Let's Play episode of Echo Carl's Path. So let's go ahead and go right back into it, guys. Apparently we're on the right track for the good ending, which is great because I don't want a repeat of the bad ending because that was awful and horrifying and yeah. But yeah, guys, please sit back and enjoy for the next 18 minutes for entertaining. Let's jump right in. Alarm chant, you're up and let's go. Okay. Raven looks back and forth between Carl and Jenna and trying to stop the other one from telling us something. I rub my face with my hands, feeling frustrated, just wishing these two assholes could just tell us what it is they want to say. So they're trying to tell us something about the past, and they both don't want us to know what the other knows. Maybe that's what we're supposed to figure out. So it's not as simple as just clearing James's name. John has something to say too, and I'm sure as hell want us to hear it. I close my eyes. We're stuck in the middle of a possessed ghost fight with each of them trying to tell us their version of a story. The whole thing seems ridiculous, insane, but I really don't have anything else to go off of. Did you find anything about them in the crawl space? I try to think back. Like I've said, they both got convicted of sodomy. John was hanged and James left to start his ice cream business. So why wasn't James hanged too? His influence in the town, probably? Well, I can see how that might cause problems between the two of them. I look over at Carl, he's still looking at Jenna. Jenna's picking at the rope in her lap. Hey, did James tell you anything while you were under his influence? Like, did he say anything? Carl rubs his chin. Not really. It's weird. I just sort of felt different. I said things I wouldn't normally say, but I guess I never heard any voices. There isn't much more to talk about at this point. Unless one of the spirits decides to do something else that can help us along somehow. So what are we supposed to do next exactly? Raven points at the back of the room. There's a door there. We all look in the direction he's pointing. Sure enough, there is a door there. It's a concrete door practically cut out of the wall. It's featureless aside from a rusty metal handle. What? Was that there before? I think I would have seen it the first time I looked in. Jenna stands up, taking a few steps towards the door. Uh-oh. What, so we're just gonna go through another door? Carl's laying back down on the floor on his back, staring up at the ceiling again. I can understand where he's coming from. Another door is possibly another nightmare. But his sudden reluctance is making it easier for me to find the strength to keep going. I reach out, resting a hand on his. Carl, this might be the last one. It might be the way out. Carl snorts. Seriously, dude? You think they're just gonna let us go? We've accomplished nothing. We can leave you here if you'd prefer. I glare at Jenna, but she's not even looking at me, instead staring at the concrete door. Carl, we have to keep going. If we go through another door, we're at least going somewhere. Yeah, and besides, the bad stuff has only happened to me and Jenna, so you guys probably have nothing to worry about. We can't stay here forever. I gently stroke the back of Carl's furry hand. He laughs again. Maybe we could. Just keep pulling grilled cheese sandwiches out of the cupboard. Carl props himself up on his elbows. Who knows? Maybe I could get some weed out of there. Carl looks back into the hallway, apparently seriously considering that. Come on, man, we're all going in together. I reach out with both my hands to him expectantly, since I can't get up on my own. Carl stares at them contemplatively for a moment, and finally gets to his feet while pulling me up onto his back with a loud grunt. Alright, man, if this freaky, spooky ghost dimension goes on for another fucking door, I'm gonna pull a joint from the magic cupboard. Of course. Jenna's already standing in front of the door. Man, I don't want to pass out again. We just did that. I look back towards the hallway. You know, maybe we should check the rest. Jenna reaches forward to grab up the metal handle, and before any of us can say anything more, she yanks it open. A trail leads through the desert landscape, and cacti and boulders obscure my view on either side. The ground is rocky and dust kicks up with each step I take. As I continue up the path, I can see the 3 peaks of the Casa Demonio mountains in front of me. I'm heading towards the town of Echo, just over those mountains. As I get closer, I notice that the trail branches off, toward the side of the mountain. I follow the trail with my eyes into the hazy distance, almost disappearing into the heat waves. Still, I can make out a small dark hole, the mine. Some things should just be left alone. Dust swirls silently at the mouth of the mine, almost sparkling in the bright noon light. Every single person here. Something seems to pulse out of the entrance, sending an almost invisible wave through the air. I love this. This is actually really, really calm and relaxing, and I love it. You will never escape. We'll always come back. Red seeps from the hole, running up the side of the mountain in a wave, turning rock and dust the color of blood. You'll always be running in circles. I start jogging up the trail, panting in the desert heat, not sure what I'm doing. The sky in front of me lights up that same ominous red color in the direction of Echo. Somehow I'm able to scale the side of the mountain in just seconds. I get to the peak and look over the edge. I see the town, but it's not the town I remember, at least not all of it. Lake Emma is in the distance to the left. The motel and supermarket are to the right. But the ruins by the lake aren't just old foundation remnants anymore. They're fully standing now with their log walls and roofs. Several dozen more houses up the side of the lake, standing in stark contrast to the more modern buildings further away, toward Main Street. There are even a few buildings that I don't recognize, and there, just below me, is Carl's house. But it's different. The mansion is bigger, the walls are a lighter color, it looks older. Somehow I'm already there. Like, I just teleported straight down to stand on the road in front of Carl's house. I stare down the slope toward this town, and there, next to the road, is a wooden platform built out under a tree. There's a rope hanging from the tree. A noose. I look back down at the town, at all the different buildings. But no matter which structure I'm looking at, one thing's the same. They're all lit up blood red. I watch as what looks like spinning blades come slowly into focus above me. I tense up, but only for a moment as I realize what it is. A ceiling fan. Wait, a ceiling fan? Isn't that... I sit up quickly, only to immediately swoon as the room starts to spin around me. I grip onto whatever I'm sitting on, and it happens to be soft and smooth. I look down and see that I'm on top of a blue comforter. To my left, Jenna, Raven, and Carl are stretched out next to me in one on a king-sized bed. To my right, sunshine streams in from sliding glass doors, outside of which is a massive deck. Past that porch are the mountains and desert of Echo. We're back. Oh my god, we're back! Guys! I shake Carl next to me. He immediately swings a hand to slap at me, but I persist until he's forced to sit up, rubbing the sleep from his eyes. Jenna and Raven stir next to him. What is it? What happened? Guys, we're back! We're in your house, Carl! Carl finally snaps his eyes open at that. Raven sits up next to Carl, and I see him sway with the same dizziness that I'd had earlier. Where are we? My parents' room! Carl's voice is hushed, quiet, as if afraid if he speaks too loudly this will all disappear. Relief like I've never known before flows through my body. Whether or not it was a dream or a hallucination or we were all drugged somehow, it doesn't matter. What matters now is that we're home. Well, in Echo at least. I look over at Jenna, hoping to see her back to her old familiar self, but I find her staring around suspiciously, that dark look still in her eyes. Maybe that would take a little while longer to wear off. I slowly push myself off the bed, the height of it making it more difficult for my feet to reach the ground. I touch down with my good foot, and I'm a bit surprised when my toes come in contact with the cold hardwood floor. I thought this room had carpet like the last time I was here. I look back at Carl and I see a confused look on his face, a frown on his brow crinkling up in the bright sunshine. Something's a little off, man. What? Something's wrong. I feel the beginnings of that sinking sensation in my chest again. Why? My parents' room isn't this big. I look around. I guess it looks a lot bigger than usual. The balcony seems to be the right size, though. And the floor! He points at my feet. Where's the carpet? Carl confirms my suspicions. The dread continues to grow in my stomach. Maybe they took the carpet out while we were gone. No one responds to that ridiculous idea. Jenna looks at the wall behind the bed and reaches out a hand to touch it tentatively. Carl lets out a loud, almost a maniacal laugh. It's like I'm in a weird dream of my house or something. Carl pushes himself off the bed, his hooves clopping loudly, unnervingly against the hardwood floor that shouldn't exist. Fuck! Yeah, fuck! I can see the same emotions I feel in my chest playing out in Carl's eyes right now. He reaches out to give me some support. Well, maybe there are other people here. Even Raven's cheerful tone is forced and strained. I guess I was expecting that we end up in another dream world or whatever. But the fact that I'd thought that just for a moment that we were back in the real world made this all the more soul-crushing. It feels like those fucking ghosts are toying with us at this point. I take a deep breath, willing myself not to lose it. Not yet, at least. Chase, I'm gonna move to the deck! I get a better grip onto Carl's side as he starts to move toward the glass doors, his hooves clopping while I hop along. He stares out, slowly reaching up with a hand to tug at the handle. To my surprise, it opens. I guess I thought it would be the same as the last place we were in, that we'd be locked in or something. I follow Carl as he steps out onto the balcony, taking slow, careful steps as if afraid that the deck may give out. The air is hot and heavy, almost humid. That isn't normal at all in Echo. Sure, it would get really hot, but it's a desert. Humidity is near non-existent. We reach the railing and stare out at the town below the foothills that Carl's mansion sits on, taking a soft breath. Just like in the dream I had, the ruins of Echo aren't ruins anymore. Dozens of old-fashioned wooden buildings dot the edge of the lake. A little ways away, I see the familiar buildings of the motel and the supermarket, along with the small neighborhood of my childhood. And along Main Street, I see a few buildings that I don't recognize. Not quite as old-fashioned as the buildings along the lake, but still pretty old-looking. What the hell? Carl almost whines out the words as I see him grip tightly into the railing. I move closer to his side, putting an arm around his shoulders. Come on, man. We're gonna figure this out. This is just... Oh, God. 1 second, guys. Oh, God. Okay. I struggle to figure out what this just is, but I come up short. Listen, I saw this in a dream, and I think that they were trying to tell me something. What dream? I had a dream before I woke up. I have them almost every time we pass out. Why are you the only one having these dreams? I jump as Jenna speaks right behind me. I turn around, finding her eyeing me suspiciously. I don't know, none of you had dreams? I did. Raven pops his head from around the glass doors, still with that bizarrely resilient grin on his face. But it's about that black shadow creature thing chasing me through the kitchen, so I guess it's not really useful. What did you see in your dream, Chase? Well, this... I wave my hand out at the alternate reality town. But then the mine, too. Like, red stuff spread out over it. Like, over the town. Then I saw a noose. I instinctively look over the edge of the balcony, downward where I remember seeing the tree. Carl looks, too. What is it? Well, I saw a tree with a noose on it. Carl looks slowly back up at me. Down there? I think so. The look of utter defeat in Carl's face has me hesitating to confirm it. What the fuck? I take a deep breath, trying to put out what I feel into words. That dream, the way it zeroed in on the tree. It felt meaningful. I think we need to go to it. Jesus, why? Carl buries his face in his hands as he leans against the railing, shaking his head slowly from side to side. I don't know, but I don't know where else to start. This place is massive. So what? They put another letter there for us to find for some reason? Maybe. Guys? Carl keeps his head in his hands as I turn around. Raven is still standing by the glass door, but he's looking back into the room. Jenna left. What? Sure enough, Jenna's nowhere to be seen. Where did she go? Raven shrugs. Downstairs, I guess? Was she going to the tree? I start to move back into the house, then remember my destroyed ankle. I look back to see that Carl is still slumped against the railing. Carl? He doesn't look up. Carl, we need to keep moving. Finally, the ram pulls his head out of his arms and turns to help me. He gets me into our familiar position with me clinging to his neck while I hop along. I'm relieved he's actually moving, but I don't like the dull look in his eyes one bit. Raven, Carl, and I head down the hall toward the stairs. Carl's right. If it's like a dream, it's like a dream of Carl's house. Carl mentions that there are a few extra doors, all of which lead into bare hardwood floor rooms. The ground level of the house, though, looks mostly normal. As we make our way through Carl's sort of home, I realize something. You guys hear the trains when we were on the deck? Maybe. Why? I thought I did. Just kind of weird. Like, what are those trains doing in a world that isn't really real? Maybe it is real. Maybe. I'm not convinced. As we pass through the living room, I can see that it's set up like it always is, and the kitchen looks to be in order as well. As we step outside, I notice that the mansion looks the same for the most part. Not the massive old look it had in my dream. I hop along down the curving driveway from Carl's house like I remember in my dream. How Jenna would be able to find the tree on her own is beyond me. The only indication I'd given her as to where it was a glance over the railing of the deck. Man, it's so fucking close to being real, this place! Yeah, I don't have much else to add, but he's right. It feels so close to being home, but none of it is home. I slow my pace as I turn right at the end of Carl's driveway, practically tugging the ram along. We move a short distance down the road, then I move to the edge on the left side of the road. I look down over to the side, onto the rocky sagebrush-covered slope, and there's Jenna. Somehow she immediately found it on her own. That old and rickety wooden platform sits under the tree. This tree and the platform definitely aren't in the real Echo. There were a few scant mentions of a hanging tree in my research. If it was still standing, I'd have gone to get some film for my project. That project seems like something I was working on years ago at this point. I carefully start to climb down the slope, clinging to Carl. I'm about to call out to Jenna when I stop cold. As we move to the side, the thick trunk of the tree shifted my field of view and revealed the noose. Unlike my dream, the noose isn't empty. Hanging from the noose is a body. From where I'm standing, I can't see exactly what it is. Its back is to us, and all I can make out is a head, hands and feet, and some old-fashioned clothes, overalls and a cotton shirt of some kind. The clothes look worn and old, like they've been sitting out in the elements for years. I stop moving, instead staring at the body. Carl freezes too, and I can feel his ragged breathing in my ear. Jesus! Carl gasps. I stare for what feels like an entire minute before I find my voice. Jenna? She's also facing the body, so I can't see her face, but she holds up a hand towards me to quiet me down before slowly pacing around the platform. It's like she's moving slowly towards the front, so I still myself and slowly follow her. I don't want to look at the body as I move, but I can't tear my eyes away. It's old. Very old. The fur is mostly gone, the skin underneath black and leathery. The face is drooping and sunken, the eyelids closed. It's been out in the sun for a very long time. I don't know much about corpses, so I don't know how long. I just know it's been a very long time. From what I can tell, it's a canine of some kind. A fox? John? For some reason, I look towards Jenna to see if she'll let us know who it is. She doesn't, instead just staring at the body. Carl tightens his grip around my shoulders. I'm not sure if it's for support against the uneven ground or the horror in front of us. Raven has chosen not to follow. Instead, he stands back behind the platform, looking away from the body. I swallow hard, trying to keep my nerves under control, trying to look at the situation like it's a simple task. Do you guys see anything? A note or something? I try to search the platform and avoid looking up at the body. There's something in its mouth! Carl points up at the corpse with a shaking finger. He's right. There's a flash of white in the mouth of the corpse, just barely sticking out from what look like gnarled teeth. A piece of paper, maybe? I'm surprised at how successful I am at keeping my voice calm. I sort of feel a little numb to all this now. But I think we both realize at the same time what this means. That we're going to have to actually get that piece of paper. Fuck, man, how do we do that? Why do we have to do this? Why don't they just tell us what they want and what they just want us to know? I cling to Carl as much as he's clinging to me, trying to keep him calm. Listen, I'll get it. It's just a body. No, it's not! Nothing just as it is in this fucked up place! Jenna suddenly turns on the two of us, causing both of us to flinch back from her. Chase, you need to get it. What? Why? You can't even fucking walk! I can crawl. He had the dream. They want him to be the one to get it. He volunteered anyway. It doesn't make sense! It makes perfect sense. Why the hell don't you get it? Carl has adjusted himself so that he's standing halfway in front of me protectively. Because that's what they want. That's bullshit! If you know us something, Jenna, then why don't you fucking tell us? Carl's snarling at Jenna now, which is all the more impressive because rams can't snarl. We can't be doing this right now. Here we are in this fucked up dimension in front of a mummified corpse, arguing. I put my hand against Carl's chest. Listen, I'll get it. This is what they want, and this will help us move forward. I try not to think about actually going up the wooden steps to stand in front of that corpse, but I don't really have any other options right now. Carl doesn't loosen his hold on me. Fuck no! Jenna, you get it since you seem to know what the fuck is going on! Carl squeezes me tighter against his chest as he leans in to glare at Jenna. Jenna glares right back, and I can see her lips trembling as she appears to be holding back her own snarl. Stop it, Carl! Let go! I'm gonna get the paper! No, Chase! Carl, nothing bad has happened when it comes to getting these stupid pieces of paper. I'll be fine. Carl looks down at me, his face etched with stubborn resoluteness. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, leave a super thanks or a tip if you can. It always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!